Hello and welcome back to the stream. Fingers crossed we do not have a crash this time. We're going to play Pipidinny Pines by Rickster. Now this one's come in really recently, so I just need to check what he has written. Just downloaded the form again, so I've got this. So black tees. The prevailing winds are blowing towards northwest. Fine. Let's just copy this into the judging spreadsheet I got. Cool. Northwest in the morning towards northeast after lunchtime. Exciting stuff. Okay, so it changes. Let's go medium and we'll go northeast. Now, what does he say? Medium to high. Max green speed can be lower and a fast. Green's a bit firmer for tournaments. We're going to keep everything as defaults. Unless it's Highlands, but it looks like Delta or Boreal, so we should be fine. First course designing with the link style bunkers. Well, the sand in the base of the bunkers is not always visible. Shadows are good. So, try to ensure balance of directions, dog legs, up and downhill shots, believable environment near the coast. Cool. We like all of those things. Easy medium standard CC, inspired by links at Port Kennedy Bay south of Perth. Original layout, I do not know that, but that sounds good. I believe Rickster is in Group A, I want to say. Yes. So that's with Tex, Crizzy, and Fretinick. Now, let's go with... let's stick with pin 1 for this one. Okay, we'll give this one a go. Now, one thing I'm immediately going to say, not knowing many of your courses, one of the things I have loved that you've been doing is you've been the person who's been going around everyone's threads and posting nice comments after you play their rounds. That's awesome. Keep doing that. We love people doing that, and it's a great way for people to be encouraged to come and check your course out. And I hope you get a lot from that, from this generally. Now, the plot itself looks really interesting. Okay, we've done some interesting stuff down here. Oh, there's a lot of cool stuff going on. Okay. Yeah, some people are actual. Community does need rebuilding. I mean, time and effort has gone into this. Oh, I like this a lot. Because this is only for one hole. But like the fact that you've cared enough to do this stuff, that bodes really well.
It's a whole team. I don't hate this.
Thanks, Jiza. And Axel, yeah, just go to bed. Now I do love this kind of. Well, we've got it. I say Delta. Look, it is Delta, isn't it? Yeah. But some really interesting trees and stuff. I love the joined fairways here. There's a lot of stuff that I think you are naturally doing really nicely. And as ever, when it's like a first course in a contest, I don't know if you've been in any others, but I don't recognise your name, so I'm assuming
This is
not.
nice, Sassy.
You can pipe down.
This is in me.
Yes, it does look interesting. I think there is so much cool stuff going on here that I really like. I do worry that it's a touch narrow, and it's very bunker heavy. But those are classic things that come with like first publishers, and there's some ideas I can see that I think maybe don't work quite so well. However, I think what you're looking for from early kind of courses from someone is like, what's the upside? And I can see a ton here already. Like the commitment to planting and stuff back here, environment creation, like brave ideas and like going for stuff. Like actually, the planting and framing generally looks really good. I'm very excited to play this. I think there's a lot of feedback that just even from this flyover, there's a lot of stuff I can tell you that will instantly make a big difference for you, and you won't need telling again. And yeah, I hope this can be. I'm just really looking forward to this. Look at the clubhouse. This is awesome. I do think these are very red roofs. I've always felt this. They're quite extreme, but clubhouse is nice. This area is really cool. The use of the rocks. Oh, there's a bird. Use of the rocks is great. That's very nicely done. That's really nicely done. Yeah, very good eye for planting. And for the clubhouse game. It really does. Okay, buddy, you may not know the names of the guys who are chatting in here, but like the amount of praise you're getting from really, really good designers, like, yeah, we're excited for this. I've been looking forward to this one. Cool. Where is my first tee? I like that it looks like we come back on 10, I'm guessing. So come back on 9 as well. Yeah. All right. I like that this sort of stuff is in front of the tee, but it makes sense. You haven't just done the classic thing of let's park a cart path here and like stuff right in front. The planting down the base here, yeah, this is really good. The way you frame this is really nice. Um, Bunkering, we can see them, definitely. I do think you're getting a little bit narrow. The pots kind of take up a lot of room. So this is asking for a very tight drive to try and fit that through. This is probably taking away a large part of the fairway. So I think you could probably ease up on the amount of bunkers you're using and you'd gain a big benefit. Equally, I would be allowing more fairway back here, which is also beneficial because it will stop you eating up so much plant meter. But like, if someone doesn't want to take on all these bunkers, let them lay back with 5 wood and just have a much longer approach. Was he? Oh, nice. I don't know if he had a CC course. I didn't play it. Or if it was last year, then I definitely didn't play it. Okay. The pot I'd probably just open up a little bit at the front, lower that sculpting just a touch. And here I think you can see how the fairway's kind of dipping back down in. The way I've always viewed these is you want your rough face to reach up to the top and then the fairway goes back down again a bit. So probably bumping this up just a little bit more and lowering the sculpting behind it would make a big difference. And then that's the top of it that you see and it just looks a little neater. I like the green a lot. This pin is fun.
Sorry, I don't know that.
Thanks. Okay. The Amazon thing started talking to us. Stream is going well. I might try. Oh, I was going to say I might try and bring the green a little tighter into this, but I don't know if you need to. Okay. There. That's the swing line. Also, your texture choices are really, really good. They fit nicely. Thank goodness. Good night, Axel. Planting does look great. The amount of space you've given it, different types of trees. Like, there's a lot of different stuff going on, but it feels really unique and it does also fit together. Nice. Opening birdie we like. I don't know if we need a wall next to every single tee. I do like the way that this planting is kind of blocking out and like you've got a really good handle on negative space and where you want to focus the golfer's eye. Your background tree planting, I would definitely not multi-plant the same tree, just like change this up a little bit. It doesn't take too long to copy paste plant a tree line, but that sticks out like a pretty sore thumb, which is a shame given how good the rest of the planting is. Okay, 3 bunkers, or we can go over all of them. And if we go right, we're dead. I think I'd want to just incorporate on both the first and the second holes. I just want to incorporate a bit of a safe miss. I'm not laying up short of these bunkers. I think it's leaves too long of an approach in. Really like the green sculpting though. Greens are interesting. I think just generally like consider where is a safe play off the tee. Like where do you allow a player to miss and give them a worse angle in? Gap wedge flop, pitching wedge flop. This always pulls a mile. Oh no, didn't this time. A very little thing. If you're gonna have fringe, have it at have it a bit bigger than this, or just don't have it at all. I think for this style of course, where you're going generally the green at grade, like the same level as the fairway surrounding it, they work much, much better, the greens, if you just remove the fringe completely. Or not have that. the tree choices, I'm not sure the pines totally fit, but I think everything else does. But they could have also been those classic Australian pines that kind of get imported to the country and take root as a result. Hey, Brandon. Well, like that we're doing this sort of thing. This feels like it should be kind of a natural sort of waste area. I can see, like, if you'd pop little bits of sand all the way down here and have it feel, no, like that's a bit of a drift. I really like the look. Yeah, it just feels like suddenly the bunker's man-made, whereas actually if you brought it all the way down here, it'd just be like a part of the environment that happens to be making its way into the golf hole, and those fit really nicely. Great green site. One little thing I would have done would have probably been, you can see this all looks super smooth compared to the like little rumples and things you got elsewhere. Just dig at this with sculpting brushes a little bit, try and randomize it a little bit. Generally, if you multi-click whilst sculpting and like just dragging your brush in a random little pattern, like chipping in it, that can work quite nicely. I think I'm laying up on this one. Oh, and then I get a bad tempo. This is why you don't lay up. At least it's light rough. It's very kind of you to use light rough, like bunker faces. It's a really good hole. I'm trying to work out why the walls are there, but not everywhere else. I guess that's where the two fairways join. Maybe that makes sense. It's not a criticism, I'm literally just trying to work it out. Personal preference, I would also lose the mow line from the green, but I despise the way mow lines look in this game, pretty much generally. And that's not going to be something that costs you anything in judging, it's just really it's personal preference. Cool, back to level. Okay, par 5. I think kind of going to have hit most of my major points already by hole 3. I usually do. Yep, narrowness, it's pretty penal because there's not much width, and therefore, the problem with doing a narrow course is once. Yeah, go for it. Bright green and dark mow lines go wild. Once you go really narrow, as soon as you put any sort of sloping in and the bunkers, it is almost really good, but it needs more width really badly. I think you need to be moving this bunker out to about here and all of that fell in, then this works. It's just all too pinched, and there's pretty much one or two too many bunkers on every hole. I think you can also lower a little bit the front of the tees or raise this bit, the fairway up a little bit, because we can't quite see the good work you've done. Oh, that's an awful swing. Oh, I deserve to get in a bunker for that one. Or light rough. Light rough is fine. And then this is a slightly curious choice because you've peppered the layup zone with a load of bunkers, but if we can clear beyond that, which, I mean, who knows? If we can probably bounce that, right? Nah, not quite. But if you can clear beyond that, it's suddenly really open. Like, it feels to me like you'd want to be protecting the green a touch more and have maybe one bunker in the layup zone. My personal preference is always, let's go to here. That's quite hard to do on a par 5, but let's say your green is angled this way. To me, that always says I want to be laying up on this side, therefore I can hit down the length of the green. I'd probably have the one bunker in the layup zone about here, and I give up that layup over there and go, well, you want that one? Okay, you're chipping over a false side or something like that. But if you want the good angle, then you're taking on whatever bunker it is. If we pepper 3 in here, that's just dissuading people from ever laying up, and they're always just going to have at it. And it just removes a bit of that choice. And really, it's the choice and indecision that someone has that makes them make bad decisions, and that's kind of where the fun comes in, really. Oh, tempo has been good. It was a hard enough hole already. Yeah, I think a lot of courses generally do use the brown heavy rough. It gives contrast that you just don't have with other textures. No, this is main field. Yeah, so he can't be that new a designer, or he wouldn't have gotten into the main field. I just don't. Apologies. I'm sure you have other courses. I just don't remember them. Okay, I was looking at this and thinking it's like a wedge shot and going, okay, this is about right. And then I've just seen that it's 5-iron, and again, it's just a bit too pinched. We're going to have the same bits of feedback throughout, really. Framing's really nice. I would have probably clear out a couple of these trees, then we get a bit more. Maybe just this one. I think just this one. And then you get a bit more of a view of the natural environment. And probably just bring in a bit of planting. This is the first one where it's felt a little too open either side. Or actually, what I think it is you've closed off the side that I would have kept open, because the water does your natural negative space, chucking it over here with your trees, then focuses our eye looking down towards the water. But I do like the green. I just think it's accepting slightly too long a shot, or I'd lose this bunker. One of those. Right. Let's try and hit tempo. Could be worse. Not too bad. You've managed that, like the brown and natural texture looks really good. Like where you've used those. Almost got a shot back. And it is an expansive plot. Like you put a lot of time in. Yeah, this looks great. And I appreciate that here you've gone with fewer bunkers. See, this sort of use of the bunker just tucked into the edge of the fairway, these ones I think work beautifully. The ones that are in fairway, this one's actually sculpted really, really nicely. They have generally been working a little less well. I wonder whether this is like a hole you did later on, because this feels much more close to what I think you were going for than the others have done. It also feels like it has a little bit more space to breathe, although I would still be wanting you to go, like, for example, where's the harm in giving us fairway here and fairway round here? If you do that, suddenly I can lay up down here, which will be great for a pen there. But if I go too far, then I'm bouncing into that bunker. So I do have that fairway to potentially use, but there's still that risk, and actually increases the risk of that bunker because you're tempting people to use this bit. But as is, I can't really use this fairway because if I land here, I end up there. So I can never actually get it to this one without bouncing in the heavy rough. I can also, it limits whether I can go here. Like, the more fairway you give us doesn't necessarily make the course easier, but it does make it more playable. Because as is, I kind of feel like I'm just going to go for driver because I don't like the other options that much. I can hit a 3-iron there, but I can easily miss-hit this tempo. But actually, so what? I've got maybe 30 yards of width, but effective width, I've got to hit between here and there. Maybe 10. Well, may as well go for the green where my effective width is 20, right? A little bit less, but this is always pushing it this way, so worst case scenario, I'm chipping. I might have also cleared out some of the trees there just so we could see the coast a little bit better. Because the water planting you've done looks spectacular. I'd like to see that a little more. I think also your green's sort of sloping the wrong way. It would have been really fun to ask people to hit a shot that bounces here and runs onto the green. That's what my eye is seeing with what the land is doing. You've got high here, low here. Let's have it all work with that. I think you get a better and much more fun golf hole. but it looks great. Like, and the dead tree planting, like, that can very easily come across as contrived. Yeah, it is. And kind of be comfortable that like encourage people to play good shots. Don't punish them for hitting ones that aren't exactly where they want to be. But the grass planting you've done, the rock work you've done, the like natural setting, like A1, really, really good. You just need to find the easier bit of just like creating, say easier, creating good golf holes, and you just need solid golf holes on this piece of land, and you are right where you want to be. Love the look of this par three. I also really, really, I mean, we're just going to sit and look at this for a minute. There's so much you've done well here. Number one, you've created a short par three that is uphill. People don't tend to do that, and it works really nicely. It's a really good change of pace. Number two, this planting here is absolutely fantastic because it clears out this bit. We're not looking like it looks great, but it's focusing our eye towards the hole. These little bits, really good balance of just like low versus medium versus high, and like again frames nicely. That tree also frames really nicely. You've given us depth in what you're producing because we've got close, we've got medium, we've got a little bit further medium, we've got far. Still think the back tree line I would be the one I'm really changing. Path works really well. And actually the use of the light rough texture on the path blends it really nicely as well. Which isn't something I've seen before, but really good idea. Just so much good. The green itself works. I mean, I might soften some of these slopes and just flatten gently so it doesn't look like one single line of movement. But there's loads of good here. The bunkering, I think with these, you just want to show the front of the faces a little bit more so that we can see them. So you can see how it's, we pan around to here, it's a really stark drop off before the bunker. Just lower this, there's more chance balls run in. They'll still stay in the bottom of the bunker, but you will be able to see that there are bunkers there and that will really make the hole pop. The final thing I'd probably do just with the bunkers is raise up these so that when we're looking back from the tee, you can almost see the little bits of mounding, those little semicircles just above the green. That would really help as well. But there's so much good here. Yeah. Hopefully that's done something for your ego. Just very pleasing when you get a really nicely presented golf hole. Something there. I like how you filled the empty space. Like we see a lot of courses do farmland. This works well. The fields are huge, which is a good thing. Typically, people do, myself probably included, the fields too small. Works really nicely. And the little remove heavy rough tool for the little paths around it, like it's a lot of good. Okay. I still feel the pines are a little incongruous. I don't think these fit. Ah, this is really nicely done as well. Oh, I mean that with the birds coming across, that's seriously nicely done. There's so much good work you're doing back there. Yeah, literally all you need to do is focus on the golf stuff. Everything else you've got absolutely nailed. Yeah, I'd lose these trees. I can see why they're there. They're preventing people going for the tee, the green off the tee, but you can do that with the bunker and where the fairways are cut. People might still go for it, but I don't know. I don't think it's an automatic. I kind of feel like this is a hit somewhere to the corner and then play up. Don't quite have a full wedge, but it's close enough that I can probably manufacture something. Don't play that course, Forest. There we go. Natural planting. I mean, I can probably stop referencing the planting. It looks really good. The only thing I dislike are the pines. Yeah, it is. Okay, and this is 9. Yeah, these two holes that have shared this sort of corridor, not that one, this one. Oh, that was 1, wasn't it? No, I'm thinking of 3. It just gets a bit too tight. But the sightline's great. And I mean, again, the planting up here looks really nice. Like I say, I can probably stop mentioning it, but I kind of feel compelled to. Ooh. All right, possibly, so probably a 3-shot 5 anyway. And if we're making it a 3-shot 5 or hard to reach, I really like the. I mean, the green's probably a bit overdone. Lose one of these 3. You can fit 2 of those in here, but probably not 3. I feel like this would be a fun par 5 to hit an approach into. Vaguely Glen Eagle. I don't know Glen Eagles much at all. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, the where are we? Putter. That's fine. Again, I'd kind of just if you're going layup zone on a 3-shot 5, I guess you've done this. You've kind of asked us questions of here to. It's all so tight. I think you kind of lose bits of it. The kings. I don't know. I need to have a look at it. I guess. I believe it's set in Perth, so like southern Australia, which I can also see. Hmm. K10. Take us back down this wild. I mean, if I were to hit this fairway, it'd be an absolute miracle. And I don't. I will be honest. I think you had 2 greens here. You had 2 green sides you couldn't really choose between, so you decided to combine them both. This isn't like this is the one idea on the course that I would say you're going to get rid of. Could, or you should have gotten rid of, and I kind of could have told you that on the first fly through. It's one of those where you have to do it really, really well if you're going to do this, and it's very rare that an idea that extreme works. I might have hit the fairway. Oh. I think I feel like it could have been really simple and just put a green going on that sort of axis, one little bunker on the back kind of third of it on the inside, and that would have been all we needed. Sometimes simple as it. Great long view though. Oh, and there's a dip in front of it. It feels very harsh to have a dip in front of a green when the whole hole has gone massively downhill and it's all running towards the back. Oh, no, it's not all running towards the back. Maybe a little punitive, especially when the tee shot was as tight as that was. Really enjoying it so far. Like, it is too tight, definitely, but there's a lot that makes up for it. Yeah, again, this green just needs like sizing and scaling is another thing. So like your fairways, I would say, are generally too narrow. These feel like they're about 20 yards wide. I would say a default fairway width should be 30, 35, probably more towards 35. That allows you to do more land movement. That's yards, this is. For greens, I would say when I'm splining them, I go around about 95 yards on a spline point, or it's 30 by 25, 35 by 20. That sort of kind of dimension if you're doing like one line to here, and the longer one is typically length and wide. Whereas I'd say this one is, if I were measuring this on a spline, that's 65, 70? 70 would be my guess. In terms of dimensions, what are we looking at? 154 down to 123. So it is 30, but it's super narrow. It's like 10. And that's when you start doing that, you just find that you can't put as much slope on there. And it also then becomes very target golf, of just like you either hit your perfect spot and you've got a tap in birdie, or you don't. Yeah, I mean, the planting everywhere has looked great. I don't know how much I love this little bit, but I love this stuff. Yeah, it's all really good. There's so much good. And like I said at the start, I think there's a couple of very simple, quick fixes that will make a huge bit of difference for you. Like, for comparison, my first contest, the main things I took away were sizing and scaling, which is an issue for you. I went way too wide. You've gone way too narrow. The other one was also consistency of ideas and just not veering too much from that, and just not being over ambitious with the plot. But that a lot of the main other bit of feedback I got was that a lot of the stuff I did naturally really worked. You can definitely take the same, like, I mean, 1 second. And yes, the chair is very creaky. I've not seen many creeks done better than that. Like, and the bridge looks really good. There's some phenomenal work going on here. Yes. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, not a bad hole in concept, Charlie, but in execution, terrible. Actually, it's kind of a bad hole in concept. The ideas were nice, it's just very extreme. I might have liked you to try to make this, well, I say try to make this drivable. I tried to incorporate that creek in a way, although, no, I wouldn't, because the rocks. No, I like how you've laid out the hole. I would probably have just tried to tempt people into going a little bit closer. Yeah, Kayuma was better executed. There's only one fairway that was 150, just 17. Okay, 13. Ah, yeah. I mean, again, looks seriously good. But this is what I wanted you to do with the other little natural dip that you had. I think it's great. It just kind of comes out of nowhere a little bit. This area of the plot is awesome. I would want a couple of other little bits, and you need enough fairway to kind of get away from that. This fairway is kind of pointless. And also, if you're doing this big fairway split, why would you put a bunker there? Let people go into that. That's fun and all sorts of dangerous, and I'm hoping you haven't made it OB. Yeah, good. And also, you want to leave this bunker alone because then people can avoid that death pit here. Because I would go as far as say that is the scariest hazard I think I will see in this contest. If I name one place I don't want to end up, I don't want to end up in there.
See how to hitting her.
No, I can't reach. Some legit planting. If Jamie, who is the best planter in the game, bar none, is saying that, you are doing very well. Yeah. Really cool. That might not be enough, club. Okay, just about enough. Yeah, the use of the new rocks as well you've got is awesome. I think sculpting here, this bunker has caused you problems with what you're doing up here. I don't think you really needed the bunker. I think the bunkers, like, I like what you're trying to do. It's just getting a grip with how you sculpt them. And, like, where you're laying the pot bunkers into. Thank goodness that went in. because they've kind of got to go into a hill. But if you're refusing to lower the front of them, and you have to kind of, you don't want it to be dead flat, as you said, but like if you're not going to lower the front of them, it can make them really hard to see. Love the coast, the cliff stuff in the background. Again, I would have lost all of these 3 pots because you're already cutting the fairway off. Yeah. I don't know if a different bunker style would have worked out better. I think pots were the only way, given how tight everything was. I do wonder whether it would have been better bunkerless completely. Because I feel like the narrowness of fairways, I just don't think you need the bunkers. Love the little rocks that are just framing this. They're random as hell, but I think they're really nice. Cool green, this one is more of a natural kind of size, probably a little bit on the lengthy size. I do feel you are basically finding your feet with sizing and scaling. Having a bit of a framework for that will definitely help you. That'll do. Okay, now we're right at the end of like, we're not running out of meter, but we're going into the dune land, which works nicely. Yeah, ragged bunkers would work. Hey TJ, hey McConnell. Yeah, oh, wow. There we are. Yeah, if you're only just tuning in, like, there's so much good to say about this course. There's some stuff that it's very narrow, and that causes some issues. But so, like here, for example, the only bunker you need is this one. Lose all of the rest. Maybe this one. Actually, I don't mind this one and this one. But lose this, have more fairway out here, and the hole is much, much better. Because it's really just become about, can you avoid the hazards rather than what's the best way to play the hole. But the course looks phenomenal. Like, this coastline's done really nicely. And I think with this one, you can just benefit from like a simpler green shape. There, can't get my words out. Like, there's no reason for this bit not to be green. Like, let's just have the green go around there. There's no real reason for this not to be green. Let's just go with a circle of sorts. That'll work nicely. Yeah, we didn't go for any sort of challenges this time. This was just a build the best course you can one. Actually, Rhino, have you only just joined? Because there is a little feature you will absolutely love on this. Or have you been lurking? If not, we'll just go and find it anyway. Where is the death pit? Over here. As an in-fairway hazard. Just, yeah, beautiful. It is a little too late, TJ, yeah. But we will have a new contest coming out, hopefully in the next week or so, whenever Matt gets his act together. Oh well. I mean, to be fair, I have commented on the pines, and the word pines is in the name, but the pit, yeah, the pit's great. I mean, if I were defining this course or discuss it or like naming any of the key features, like the pines would be the last thing I'd mention. I don't love the setting for this one quite as much. It's the hill behind it that's not quite working, I don't think. It just looks a bit artificially raised. Green again, very, that's very punitive. Right, hit a tempo. Nope. No can do. Well, only light rough. More rocks, time that. Yes, that's exactly what we said, I think. Just like, it's so good, it just feels like it comes out of nowhere a little bit, but it's really good. And I think a lot of this playthrough hopefully should be helping those kind of gut instincts, and like when you feel like you're doing something well, are you actually doing it well? Like, does that work? And just reaffirming your kind of natural feel for this. This hole, the spaces all of your holes occupying, the things you're getting them to do, really good. Like, love the way this one bends and works, and the green side's great. Just give it more space to breathe. And I love where you put the bunkers. You just need like an extra 10 yards on the one side of the fairway and more layup zone over here. And then it all works. And that, in some ways, is the easy bit of feedback, hearing that and understanding it. Actually executing that and making it all work is the hardest bit. I can't tell you how much time I will spend adapting fairways and just getting the shapes and scaling just right for what I want anyway. Not everyone does that. But I like the change of pace green side. We've had loads of coastal stuff, so having one banked into this like little area of the hillside, perfect. And again, it's just not overdone, the planting. It's just the right amount to make me kind of think barren, but also like there's enough like green stuff around, and like that, kind of exactly what I picture this environment as. Okay, 18.
I don't hate this.
No, we don't. You've got the beach here. That's your big hazard. Lose the 2-pot bunkers. And again, the same thing with width. Like, it is, the moment you bring these bunkers in, it becomes just about avoiding them rather than. I think the beach would be a much more interesting hazard. And I love all of this. And I also wish you'd put the green somewhere down here, like really close to the edge. Like, anytime you get this sort of stuff, this is such a unique hazard that looks so good. I want to be playing really close to that. I don't want to be playing a hole that's kind of moving away from it. The more you can do that, the better. Green is good. Interesting sloping. We love the clubhouse. We said that at the start. Go on. That's fun. And that's a great view out to sea just to finish up. Like, yeah. Okay, it was slow going, but we got yeah, picked up after the front nine. Well, there we go. I mean, feedback wise, I can't say enough positives about it in terms of like what I was going in expecting, versus what I found. You are so close with a lot of it. The big thing is just going to be width and where you're placing the hazards. You have got such a great eye for like natural hazards and the planting. Lean on that. And when you're making that environment, think how is the environment going to fit with the golf course rather than here's a piece of land, let's superimpose a different type of golf course on top of it. Because you could have blended the links style with it really nicely, and you kind of did. It just needs more space, and anything that has that kind of amount of land movement as well needs more space. And those super narrow fairways got really restrictive. And I still shot relatively well, but that's really just because my tempo happened to be on and I didn't go in that many of the hazards. I think you'll find the more you play strategic golf.
This is a good golf course.
It absolutely is, Rory. The more you play strategic golf courses, similar with the previous playthrough, like go to Fried Egg, read as a website, or there's podcasts, listen to a load of stuff by Tom Doak or Bill Core and Ben Crenshaw or Gil Hans, like top designers who talk about a lot of what they do and why they do what they do. On the Fried Egg, look at videos, look at their articles, read up on templates, which will teach you stuff about strategy and give you a bit of an understanding of your natural instincts are really, really good. I can see that by the whole corridors. You're choosing where you're putting the hazards. What you need is that understanding of what you can take out, and that kind of feeling of how could someone make a really easy bogey here, or like in this game, how can they make a really easy par? So like for a long par 4, take a 3-wood, play to the fat of the fairway where there's no risk whatsoever, lay up somewhat short of the green where there's no risk whatsoever, chip and 2 putts. Like, the more you can design with that mentality, the better your courses will become, because what you're really doing in practice is the person who takes driver and misses the fairway then has somewhere to play to and can make a putt that way. But like I say, the whole ideas you've got really, really good, with the exception of the one hole with that boomerang green, which I didn't like. The natural landscape's awesome. There's so much good there. Sort out the sizing would be the main thing. That would make a biggest difference. But yeah, like, most of your instincts are spot on. Like, follow those. Really, really, really good stuff. So yeah, thank you for following along. And
Don't be like wacky.
most importantly. Anyway, I will be back with another couple of playthroughs, possibly Saturday, but it depends. I've got family visiting for the next, well, various members of family for the next 4 or 5 days, so it might be a little while longer. But yeah, hopefully sneak a couple in at some point. But yeah, we're up to date at least. See you again soon.